Hello everyone. Thank you first of all for your submissions, and what we're going to do now is move towards the second submission. So I'm going to be issuing a series of short videos, probably twice a week I would think, and what I need is some answers from you. So each video will come with some questions related to a particular text. The purpose of this is to be able to get us from where we just arrived at, which is identification of sources, to then talk about the next stage of putting together a research paper, which is outlining, and then to move to the writing of the research paper, and then to the editorial revision prior to submission. So I'll be looking at some of those topics in relation to the Turabian course text, that's Turabian 2018. But before that, what I'm going to do is refer you to part of this book. So that's Wingell and Herzog. And I've attached to an accompanying email PDF of the relevant section of one of the chapters that I want us to look at. So this is actually going to look at pages 178 to 186. There's about 11-12 pages there. So I'm basing this on those pages, and it deals specifically with outlining. So we've moved from sources now to outlining. We'll be following with questions on writing and on revision. So the first thing to do is to read through the PDF text. I will offer some general guidance as I did before, and then I'll pose some questions. There are going to be 8 questions altogether relating to that PDF from Wingell and Herzog. So, beginning on page 178, the authors treat outlining as essentially the transformation of research content from its raw state into a framework of arguments and evidence required to support an intended thesis. The outline is thus an ordered skeleton which will underlie the final written research paper. So it's a stage further forwards from what we looked at in relation to Turabian, where Turabian talked about storyboarding. So that's the research in its raw state in terms of categories. The outline is now an ordered skeleton that will underlie the final written research paper. Wingell and Herzog advise that the prose form must be, and it is prose, must be logical and convincing. Thus, this particular outline stage, this prior outline stage, which precedes the writing of a paper, represents essentially a key phase of critical reflection. It's the phase in which we actually think through our assumptions about a topic, try to give them now coherent form. So I'm going to run through several questions. Here is question 1. So, what do the authors, that is Wingell and Herzog, identify as the primary quality of a successful outline? In all cases, I'm looking for very short answers, perhaps one word, no more than 2 sentences. But most of the time, it'll be a single word or just a few words. So there's no need to write a lengthy answer. So question 1. What do the authors identify as the primary quality of a successful outline? Question 2. The authors identify 3 possible arguments that an author might mistakenly seek to combine with regard to Wagner's music drama. So there's a section of this text that deals with Wagner's music dramas, and they say, yes, those 3 points are actually going to conflict if you see them as all supporting one another. So what are the 3 possible arguments? And again, this should be pretty much just a sentence at a time. You can just lift a quote from the text, and that will do fine, so long as you know what it is that you're looking for. Question 3. What is the necessary condition that underpins coherence for Wingell and Herzog? What is the necessary condition that underpins coherence for Wingell and Herzog? When we're putting together our arguments and the evidence used to support them, they say, well, they could run in several different ways, perhaps from the weakest to the strongest, or they might assume a different sequence. but it's for us to actually try and test. In other words, students should be prepared to work out several possible arrangements, if need be, to finally arrive at the most convincing arrangement of the arguments, that is, the points we want to convince our reader of, and the evidence, the substance used to support them. So here are two more questions now. Question 4. Headings and subheadings determine which quality that an outline should have. So Wingell and Herzog are specific, and they say that headings and subheadings determine a particular quality that an outline should have. What is that quality? Question 5. Do Wingell and Herzog prefer sentence outlines or topic outlines? Do Wingell and Herzog prefer sentence outlines or topic outlines? The authors, Wingell and Herzog, proceed to critique a rough outline of a paper on Bach's 6 suites for solo cello. They suggest that actually this outline features too many extended and vague digressions, that is, topics that the author can't really decide whether they should be there or not, but thinks they should include everything. But these headings are too vague, and there are too many of them. So, question 6. Which two principal weaknesses do Wingell and Herzog identify in this particular initial outline, this rough outline? Which two principal weaknesses, limitations or shortcomings do Wingell and Herzog identify in this first rough outline? Question 7. Wingell and Herzog suggest that ultimately the outline lacks coherence. Which 3 sections do they regard as particularly irrelevant? And here you can just give a short indication of what each of those sections is attempting to cover. So which 3 sections do they regard as particularly irrelevant in that first rough outline, and what are each of those sections devoted to? Final question, and this will be the end of the video. In the edited revision that Wingell and Herzog propose, they say that this version achieves a coherent reorganization of the original draft by introducing first a sequence of 3 main sections, that is, using Roman numerals, with each subdivided into sentence length subtopics. So 3 main sections picked out using Roman numerals, but with each of those sections then subdivided into sentence length subtopics that are given individual letter headings. So which 4 subtopics is my question here, question 8, that are included in their main section 2? Which 4 subtopics are included in the second main section, section 2? So there are 4 subtopics. What are those subtopics and how are they laid out? Okay, that's the end of this video. I'm going to upload it to YouTube. I will provide a link. Send me your questions by the time that I will specify in the video. At that time is better than by that time. So it's helpful if everything comes in together, so I'm not just bombarded with information at random points during the day or sometimes night. That's just not helpful. Flattening the curve is crucial in helping to just convey information efficiently in this situation, much as it is in the medical case more broadly just at this time. All right, hope you find this helpful. I will hopefully post something on Thursday, which will then deal with some of the other points that I've raised today. They'll be relating to Turabian, and so I won't issue a PDF there because I think everyone has a Turabian. Actually, I can't generate a PDF, so you need to order a Turabian if you don't already have one. All right, so yeah, I'll be in contact again towards the middle of the week, and hope all goes well for everyone until then. All right, bye for now.